Yo, check it.
Welcome back to another episode. Thank you for tuning in once again. Today we got a special guest.
Me.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank
Michaela.
you. Yes, I'm
Am I
Michaela.
saying that right?
Yep, it's Michaela, like
Michaela.
Michaela without a K.
Okay.
kinda.
That's
Michaela.
cooler, to be honest.
Yeah, I
That-
don't like the harsh K as
Yeah.
much. Like, it's kind of more Hawaiian. It's
Yeah.
got that.
Yeah, when
I like that vibe, you know?
Yeah.
when I saw the spelling of her name, like Mahala.
Mahalo.
People usually call me that first, and
Really?
then I'm like, it's Michaela, but
Well,
it's kind of like Mahalo because
Okay.
You shouldn't feel offended because in Tagalog, mahal means love.
oh hell yeah,
Hey.
That's true.
I love
That
that.
is true.
Yeah.
I'm never offended. I'm always like excited.
I love that.
Yeah.
Good vibes. Always good vibes. Shoot, I've had a cool last name, but nobody calls me Chris.
You just have a pretty typical name.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a very popular name, Chris.
Yeah.
Christian.
I like it.
It's
but
cool.
you call yourself Noah once in a while.
Every once in a while. Every once in a while, if you catch me calling me myself Noah, it's because I'm really close to you or I'm really close to you. Usually. before I had a significant other, I used to tell her, I was like, yo, I used to call myself Noah to the ladies because I felt like
It's
it was more
unique.
attractive. It's more unique. Yeah.
That's true. That is true.
And then she's like, when you met me, I thought you called me, you introduced yourself as Christian. So I'm pretty sure I said Noah. I don't know. It's been a minute. But all I know is now Noah just means we close friends.
That's
Cool.
how you know. That's
right.
kind of how I feel about my name too, where it's like if you get my name right or you say it right, then I know that you know me or you're like actually my friend or I can talk to you kind of, or like it's a different level where it's like if you're like Mahala, I'm like yo what's up, and I like don't take you as seriously as if you're like Michaela, like, or you know Michaela Disney, I'm like oh
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention her last name.
Your last name is Disney?
sure
Are
is.
you related?
My husband is 12th cousins on the maternal side.
No
So technically not to Walt, but to Walt's wife at one point.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane.
So she's
Well, I guess it's half Walt. Yeah.
Half
so,
Walt.
13 forever ago. So not really. Just as much as we're related, probably.
yeah.
But, you know, I mean,
It's still a cool
mean-
last name though. Disney.
oh, yeah. I took it.
you
Yeah.
probably get this often then. People are like, are you related?
Oh, absolutely.
time. Only
And
all
see,
the
that's
time.
another thing. If I'm gonna like mess with you,
Yeah.
like it's if you said my name wrong. And then I'll be like, oh, yeah, we are. Like, for sure. Haven't tried to get into Disneyland yet though, but I'll let you guys know if it works. I feel like if I just go up and I'm like, Michaela Disney, here's my ID.
Yeah.
And just don't say anything, like kind of just
Yeah.
play it cool, see what happens. Things would go well, but
Oh, no, you can't do
You
that. You're
should,
on live. You're on video now. People
You
are like,
should,
oh,
you
Do you-
should,
do you
you should
think-
try it though.
I'm still gonna try
yeah,
it.
Just do it. And then if you do, let us know.
I still will I'll for sure let you guys
Be
know.
like, hey, hook us up.
Yeah, I'll be like, what's up? Got you guys Disneyland tickets. That's the dream.
That is the
To
dream.
give all your friends Disneyland tickets.
You know, fun fact, I've never been to Disneyland or Disney World. Yeah.
Honestly?
What? I thought
Yeah.
you have.
I've never.
I've been once.
Once? Is it
Yeah.
worth? Have you been?
I mean, this was
to
like,
land, Disneyland,
Ah.
not the world.
what's the
Okay.
difference?
I've never been to Disney World.
Oh.
Apparently, World
I've
is
never been
bigger.
to Florida.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah, I've been to the one in LA, and
I think
It was
it's
cool.
something that you need to do once in your life. I would say that if you have kids or like, I feel like it's something that you can totally enjoy and it's fun.
I feel like it's cooler as an adult. You think so?
I feel like it is because I remember
mean,
it and
yeah,
I appreciate the like everything. I'm like,
'Cause
this
I-
is genius.
'Cause
Like, how did?
Yeah, I remember going there when I was like maybe like 12,
Yeah.
and I don't remember anything.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
all about remembering it and then it's like appreciating it too. And especially because technology is getting better, they're updating the rides. So it was actually really cool for me because when I went as a kid, they were all different. And then when I went as a like teenager, they were updated and better. And I was like, it kind of blew my mind a little bit because I was
Really?
like, oh my gosh, like I remember like we were like underwater in a submarine for Nemo and I'm like, that was not a thing like last time I was here. It was just really cool. The work and the
Dang.
effort. They're constantly like upgrading it.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Damn.
I got one time.
One of these days we'll go check it out.
Yeah, it's a life goal, you know?
Yeah, something to do.
Maybe if I have kids.
I think it's more fun to, like, I haven't done that yet. And I think that'll be my prime because it's like, it was fun going as an adult and it was fun going as a kid. But I think as an adult with kids or even with somebody who's going for the first time or like, you're just like stoked to be there with or like, I'm,
that's true.
you know, like somebody that you're just super excited to be there with. I think that's when it would be prime.
If I go, I'm going to be like, oh, snap. What? No way. I want to go over there. Can we do this? What? This looks good. Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that they serve alcohol now, and that used to not be a thing. And so that
It's
makes
gonna be
it
a lot more fun then.
infinitely better. You know?
Yeah. Now you can walk around with the wine.
You got to have that
That's
option.
true.
Bring your aerated thing.
Bring the aerator.
That'd be interesting. But I mean, Disney, got my eyes on you. We're not
That's
sponsored,
true.
by the way.
No, we're just talking.
Yeah. So
Sorry, Walt.
if you happen to see this and you're feeling the podcast,
Can you imagine?
hey, we saw your podcast. Here are a couple of tickets to Disneyland. Whoa.
That would be amazing.
I'd be
Hey,
in.
Mihaela Disney. I'm pretty easy to find. It's a rare name.
It is definitely worth
That-
it.
Please find me. And
That's a
send
cool.
3.
That's a very cool last name for sure.
That's a cool name, to be honest. Like,
Yeah, I guess in the
Sometimes
name
I get Disney Princess, which I'm not a huge, like, I love Disney and I love Disney music especially.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm not one of those crazy fanatic. Like, I'm not crazy
Yeah.
about Disney. So I'm like, oh, thank you. And people are like, they pull out their credit card and it's Disney. And I'm like, oh, you're actually obsessed. Like, this probably blew your mind. Like, we're trying to get we're literally trying to get a house. We have a lender on the phone. And he was like, what's your last name? And I was like, Disney. And he goes, and it's quiet for a little bit. And then he goes, I can't wait to go home and tell my wife about this. And I was like, dude, like he was like so excited. He didn't even ask like how related. He didn't even care. He was just like, I'm helping the Disneys find a home. And he literally, that's how he ended our conversation. I'm like, did I make your day? Like, I'm so happy for
I mean,
you.
that's cool. Changing somebody's day.
Yes,
Dang.
Scott's the best, man.
Yeah.
I want, you know, that's a goal to just have your like last name be super famous like that. But like, you know, what if one day it's just like my last name and the people are like, oh, that's him.
It's like an entity.
It is an entity.
The so-and-so, yeah.
That'd be super epic, to be honest. Oh man,
One day,
One day.
maybe.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna do what JERiCK did and
What?
write it all down on the wall and
I wonder if people-
Manifest
or
it.
manifest it.
I wonder if people can read that far.
Maybe.
Yo, if you can read that far,
Comment down below what
Yeah.
you can read.
yeah, we
Yeah.
might send you something.
I
Fun.
mean, there's some like pretty big fonts up there.
Yeah.
Pretty sure you can read
You guys
it.
can take a guess, maybe. That'd be fun.
Oh,
Yeah, that'd be cool, too.
That'd be cool. But yeah, those are some goals and some inspiration stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put some on that side too. Just so
Ooh, I didn't see those.
before I step out of there,
Dang.
I'm gonna
Love
put it
it.
all over the fucking.
Just put it up here and like. This,
Yeah,
like,
that's what I was
beam.
thinking. I was like, I always look up at that pillar.
Yeah, just like. Maybe put some lights on there. Oh man, that's it.
Yeah.
Game over.
That's the
Yeah.
that's the
Dang
goal.
Anyways, how's your week been, man? It's been a minute since our last podcast. Well, it's been a week, but
Yeah,
still a minute.
it's been a hot minute. It's been busy, just work, client stuff, and I actually have some pretty big news for the podcast, but I'm
Hey.
gonna save that.
Oh, for a little later.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Shoot.
save it till.
I was at work and I was like, "What?"
yeah.
I had
So
to contain myself.
yeah, exciting news for the podcast. Yeah, stay tuned for that.
Stay
Ooh,
tuned.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Stay tuned till the end, maybe. You know,
Yeah.
you never know.
I don't know, maybe I'm a little tipsy, so it might come out.
We are drinking red wine.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, since
Disclaimer.
since Anthony was on.
I know he brought wine last week, and that was pretty good.
Yeah. I come to the
So-
podcast today, and JERiCK's like, I got something to aerate this with. And I'm like, what? I'll try it.
We bougie
I know.
now,
I was
bro.
like, I don't even have one of those. Crazy.
No, because I got it as a gift. I was like, what am I gonna do with this? And then now I can use it.
Yeah.
It's like they knew. They're
Yeah.
like, JERiCK's going to be a wine drinker. Here, just do it.
I know.
I love that.
That'd
But
be
yeah.
interesting.
Anyways, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's my first time ever being on any podcast, so
Oh,
it's
yeah?
been fun and cool.
Cool. At least we got you first before you get super famous.
Yeah, before you
It's
get
like
yeah
Disney princess.
Yo, we got Disney
Yeah.
on our podcast.
Yep. I'm here. You guys are my first.
Hey.
But yeah, you want to start with the first two questions?
Oh yeah,
Christian?
yeah. We always tell
Oh.
our guests 2 questions.
Yeah, so we have. I haven't told you this, but we're gonna have 2 questions in the beginning, and I think I came up with 2 questions at the very end of the podcast. So
Ooh, transformative
yeah,
question
something
session.
new.
Cool.
Yeah,
Always
so
keeping it fresh.
let's start with the
Number
2
one.
questions.
All right, number 1. what is your current obsession?
I have recently gotten really into making almond milk. This is kind of strange.
I saw that on your snap.
So like legit. Okay, so I go to Winco and I get a shit ton of almonds and I make almond milk and then I make almond butter and then I use the almond pulp from the almond milk and I make really bomb banana muffins with protein powder in them. So like I think my obsession is like making things from scratch and then making like multiple different things out of like each part of it. So like zero waste. Like I don't waste any part of the food.
Oh, that's blessings right there.
So it's like super cool and it's so, I mean, I don't think I can ever buy store-bought almond milk again.
Yeah.
It just doesn't taste the same. It's like, yeah.
The second question is, did you bring any of that almond milk?
I did not. I only brought cookies. I'm sorry.
The third question is, how do you milk the almond through small teeth?
It is so weird though because I do feel like the process of it is slightly like milking a cow because you have to put it into a thing called a nut bag. You guys,
no way.
I'm not kidding you. It's called a nut bag, and so you get it and you go over the sink and you're like, and you literally have to squeeze the bag because you're getting basically all of the almond shreds out and just the milk to come through. It's a very intense and very long process. But
no way.
Yeah, it kind of feels like I was like, now I want to milk a cow because I want to know what that's like.
Well,
so
I've
that's
milked a cow before, but
I've never.
Was it cool or just underrated?
I think I've
like,
tried
it's super cool.
milking goats before.
Oh, what?
What? You milk
How
goat?
have you guys touched these teats and I
No,
haven't?
I grew up in the Philippines. There's like farms everywhere.
Oh,
I love
that's
going
so
to, like,
cool.
But I think that was super
Animal
weird.
zoos and stuff.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Wow.
you
You
just
guys,
end up doing these things.
I'm really jealous.
I don't know. I'm kind
But
of
I mean,
jealous.
I've never milked an almond.
Yeah, I want to milk an almond. Like, what?
Nut milk.
It's nuts.
They have little
This is
tiny
nuts.
nipples.
Oh, no. Yeah, that is it's a very interesting process.
What
Takes
got
a long
you?
time.
What got you interested in that process? I'm not. Now I'm just curious.
I kind of like my friends.
Fuck the topic. We'll just talk about almond.
You guys want to talk about
almond
nuts?
milk?
Yeah. So my friend is a vegan, and we do vegan cooking nights, and
Yeah.
so I feel like that kind of spurred me on to just all of this. Like, I made cashew vegan queso for the first time, and I realized that nuts you can make like all this crazy cool stuff. So I've been making these dips. I've been making just a ton of different stuff. So it's been really cool. And then I love almond milk, and I was tired of buying it, and I don't like the taste of any of them. They're all too sweetened.
Is it cheaper?
It's about the same price, maybe a little bit more expensive because almonds are extremely expensive. So to get a pound of almonds is could be $10. I go to Winco and I get it for like $7.
Yeah.
So it's about $7 because literally it's almonds and fresh filtered water.
Well, next time you make some more almond milk.
Okay, it's
Hit us
definitely an
up.
acquired taste. It's kind of more watered
Let me
down,
know,
but I'll
and
let you
then-
guys know. I'll hit you
Yeah.
up. Do you like vanilla? Because I like to sweeten it with a
Yes.
little bit of vanilla.
Hell yeah.
Okay, guys, I'll bring you some milk.
Yeah, I want to give it a try.
Okay, sounds good. But it's super fun, and then I love cooking with it too because I'm trying to kind of like explore like options for
She
alternatives.
brought us some cookies, too.
I did.
What?
Reminds me. Do you want them now? Like, remind me later.
We'll save that for later, just so we're not like chewing on the podcast. Not
yeah.
Can we do it at the
ASMR.
end? Because I just
Can
want
we-
to.
Yeah, we can
Yeah,
do that.
maybe they
then.
can get
they're
them some
white
AM
chocolate
tomorrow later.
macadamia nut, just in case you guys were wondering,
No.
and or
All right, you're never
anybody
leaving this
listening.
podcast. You're staying. You're bringing the cookies every single day. What?
And
No.
milk.
Wait, you
Add
said
coconut
chocolate,
milk.
white chocolate macadamia nuts.
Yes.
You know what's
Those are-
funny? I went
that
to
is-
Dutch Bros earlier because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got one of those free drinks,
Yeah.
and they have a new drink that's chocolate macadamia nut, and it was pretty bomb.
Oh, you got that? That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got it for free, and then
Sweet.
they gave me a punch card that was had 10 in it, so I can get another free one next time. So,
They
lit.
hook
so
it
it's
up.
been a
No
good
joke.
day.
Yeah, that's
I
an
should do
awesome
that
day.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's a
Super
good idea.
solid day. But anyways, that is my current obsession is making milk from almonds and all sorts of other things.
Wow. Well, those
I
are
want to
pretty-
do cashews next. I want to make cashew stuff and get into that.
Cool.
But it's seriously so interesting, and I love to cook. So it's a new I've baked, I've cooked. This is a new I don't know. I feel like it's different, so it's kind of exciting for me.
A new frontier.
Well,
I like that. That's nice.
Next
That's cool.
time, I'll text you. I'll be like, "Hey, I'm stopping over. I got a jar."
For sure. No,
fill me
seriously,
up.
bring your own mason jar because I make kombucha too.
Oh, okay.
So
Perfect.
Oh,
I
nice.
I make a lot of. I'm like a homemade. I love to just cook and.
That's cool.
Cool. All right, I'm gonna take you up on that. Yes. But anyway, second question is, what's your guilty pleasure?
That's such an interesting question because I feel like I'm not guilty about anything I do, but I get the question.
Yeah.
I'm like.
Yeah, I'm the same way too. I'm
yeah,
not
where I'm
embarrassed
just
about anything.
no,
but
but I get it. I think that
if you
mine.
had one,
Oh man.
maybe a
I guess what do people
Milking
like? Oh,
those
you do that?
almond is a little
I think
bit-
that like well something that is kind of surprising is like I love like In-N-Out animal fries. Like we actually have had those together once.
right.
But yeah, I'm obsessed with them like to the point this could be an obsession too, to the point where I literally will go like 2 or 3 times a week and get them. So I feel like that's kind of like my guilty pleasure because I want to talk about that and I am a really like healthy person. So I'm like that's definitely my like guilty
Except
pleasure.
for the In-N-Out animal fries.
Oh, totally. But
Wait,
it's like everybody needs good
Animal fries. Yeah, absolutely.
They're great. And
But have you
it's-
had the fries well done?
No. Should I do that?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well
Just be
done
like well
animal
done
fries?
animal fries.
Okay.
Game
Do you get
changer.
extra cheese, extra onions, extra spread?
Hell no, but I should.
That's what I do. Okay, so next time I'm gonna do what is it? Extra
Well done.
Well done.
It's
okay.
like super crispy.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm super down.
Yeah,
Get
yeah.
extra cheese and extra everything. It's so much better. It'll blow your minds because sometimes the portions are just disappointing and you're
How
like
much is that? Like,
30
True.
It's 30 cents more.
oh, is it really?
Yeah,
Oh.
they just charge you for cheese. It's like $4.33 instead of
Shit, I'm about to go get some fries.
$3.85. See how many times? Like I know the prices because I've been there so much. So definitely my guilty pleasure is going to In-N-Out and getting animal fries on a weekly basis.
There's nothing guilty about that. It's
I used to go
delicious.
to
But I'm super
In-N-Out like
proud.
once a week at least for sure.
Yeah, it's
Um,
like that's why I'm like I'm not guilty. I talk about it, but I don't necessarily bring it up. So
Okay, I mean,
Some
still a
sneak
little
that
bit
in
of
there.
guilt in
yeah,
there.
a little
A
guilty.
little guilty.
But yeah,
Delicious.
so today's
So
topic
delicious.
is gonna be a little bit different.
Yeah.
Mahela is very, I guess not very, but she's into. How do you explain? Is it astrology? Or
Yeah,
what is
it's
it?
horoscopes, astrology,
horoscopes.
signs, all that good stuff.
What's your name? What's your sign?
What's your name? No, but I'm kind of just super into like anything like getting to know you or yourself or why you are the way you are and how you interact with your environment and like how it's so important because you are so in touch with your environment and I just love stuff like that.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting the first time I met her. What did you say again? You were like, I feel like I know you, or
Well, I
something
I
along
said
those
that
lines.
first off I had seen I got deja vu pretty much, but it was like
Yeah.
one of those super intense ones where I'm like I saw this whole. It wasn't just a memory. It was like I've seen this before.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I said earlier. Like I've seen this before or something like that. And then I was like I totally feel like I've like, it was like what I had saw was me and my other friends and we were all working together and having a great time. But it was like I had never met JERiCK and I knew him already. I was almost like I felt his presence before I met him. And so when I met him and we first started talking, I was like, I feel like we've already done this. And I already knew exactly
vu.
what to expect.
Yeah.
It was almost like I was already it was like somebody would say something. I'd be like, well, he wouldn't think that in my head. And I'm like, what the heck? Why am I I just felt like I almost felt like I was like, oh, I totally feel like he would think that's funny or just stuff like that where I'm like, I feel like I already know you.
You're kind of like the Greek Aphrodite, or not? Oh, wait, not
The goddess of sex. Yeah, but not in this context.
I'm super into Greek mythology. It's the one god's visionary person, and he gives
They
visions.
get you see the
yeah,
future or
yeah.
something.
About? Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Totally.
It's one of those gods.
It's not like somebody with a third eye or something, is it? Or one? I don't know.
No. It's this people go to her to get information or to foresee
okay.
the future because she knows
a psychic fortune
a
teller
psychic,
type
yeah.
vibe.
Oh.
Yeah, I feel. I definitely don't claim to be a psychic whatsoever, but I'm very intuitive, and it's weird how that plays. It plays so much into everything. It's I feel like anybody could read your horoscope or go onto a website and read it, but it's one thing to be able to I don't know, already just talking to you for a little bit, I'll skip sentences. Because I'll be like, that's not you. I can already tell by talking to you, you're not good. I'm not even just skip sentences, but there's just so much information out there and so much contradicting stuff to where it's I already feel because I have good intuition, it's easy to be able to be yeah, you're a total Leo. You know?
No way.
Just
did you
drop
tell
the
her?
mic.
Did you
Yeah,
tell her?
sorry,
Yeah, I
bro.
told her.
I have inside information.
No,
I know
wait.
your birthday. Wait, is your birthday August 15th?
No, it's my day. Wait, August 14th. How'd you know?
Oh, thank God. Well, I think that's still the same.
Did you tell her?
Yeah.
I told her you
How
were.
else?
Okay.
I'm not a stalker. I promise. I'm not crazy.
No,
I'm
she's
just
psychic, bro.
Well,
like-
Scorpios actually are known to be stalkers, but I'm a Scorpio, but I'm definitely not a stalker. He gave me your birthday.
Oh, okay.
So, but you're a Leo. Have you heard anything what do you guys know about anything about your sign. Do you know anything?
Oh yeah, no. Well, you know what? Me and one of my other friends, we're good friends. So we're actually I have a handful of Leos that I know, and
You keep them close.
well, in all honesty, like some of my best friends are Leos.
Love it.
Yeah, it's
So
insane.
you guys are lions. You got to stick together like the pack.
Like a pride.
Yeah.
You know.
You got to be seen with people like you.
Yeah. For Leos, we're very we're outspoken. We're very I guess you would very outgoing leaders, natural leaders, or so they say, and you know, like
Yep.
we have a fire in us, and we
Totally.
want to be heard. We want
You're
to be
a fire sign. So yeah. Yeah, it's super cool. It was really fun reading about a Leo because I so my interest is usually in myself and the people around me. Like I was saying earlier, it's not so much that I'm into like necessarily horoscopes or it's just like I want to know almost every different thing I can about people. So I love getting into this because it does have so much play. But it was fun because I don't really know many Leos. And so I was really interested reading about you and being like, oh yeah, because I know one person, I'm like, it's totally him. And it was like kind of fun to like know one person and be able to kind of base it off that.
Yeah.
But I didn't know like nearly as much as I knew about our signs because I know a lot of Tauruses. So, but yeah, I'm super excited to like see if you think it's accurate. Or,
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
me and my
All right.
other fellow Leos were always just like, oh, that's a Leo thing to do, or like,
yeah.
you know.
Oh, totally. I do that with like I have one of my friends. He's a Scorpio, and all the time I'm like, it's because we're Scorpios. Because it's always on specific certain things. We are just on the same page, and we'll be the only two in the room. There'll be like 30 people, and we'll be like, nah.
Yeah, so
Scorpio thing.
I don't know much about my sign aside from, for some reason, being stubborn, just
You the bull.
stuck with the horn. But yeah, I don't know. I think,
That's definitely like the number one thing. It's
Yeah.
like being stubborn.
but then everybody's stubborn, so it's like,
I don't agree with that. But like I'm
okay.
stubborn for sure. And I think you might be stubborn too. That's what at least it said. It said one thing that we all have in common is
Okay,
being
man.
stubborn to an extent because I wouldn't say I'm super stubborn, but it's like when I'm passionate and when I believe in something, I am stubborn for sure.
I agree. Yeah, no, me too.
You know what
me
I
too.
mean? And I think
Yeah.
we fight for what we believe in and also for the underdog. And so it's like in that sense, we're very stubborn people. You have to be
Yeah.
kind of to be a leader or to be anybody that's getting shit done. So,
Yeah.
you know, but
all right. So how do you
Okay.
want to start this?
I think I'm just gonna start by like reading
read.
your Leo,
Read
like
me.
basic personality traits. I'm literally reading this from a website.
Follow along, guys.
Yeah, follow along. So it says, and then I want to like jump in at any point. Don't feel like you're interrupting me.
Okay.
Okay. So weaknesses: prone to jealousy, too much possessiveness. You can be egotistic and sometimes domineering.
Domineering.
What do you think
What
about
the
that?
hell
Like
is domineering?
controlling.
Oh,
You or like maybe not controlling, but like in a room, you can sometimes
So,
take
repeat
over or be the
those,
center of attention,
yeah,
or
yeah.
you know what I mean. So prone to jealousy, possessive, egotistic, domineering or dominating personality.
I feel attacked.
I'm so sorry to start with your weaknesses, but I just want.
I know.
See, and I was a little bit worried.
you gotta hype him up and then
you gotta
bring him.
ease me down.
Well,
Yeah,
I
come
just want to
on.
see what you think. I want to start from a real honest
absolutely.
perspective.
You know what? In all honesty, yeah, it's probably
Which one of
everything
is true?
except for what was the second to the last one?
Egotistic?
Egotistic. I don't really put myself like I don't put my name on everything or you know like I'm not really. I don't feel like I'm super like I don't have a. I might have an ego, but I'm not like oh like I did that shit. That's me. Like
Yeah.
but I do know that like I want to be. Sometimes I like being center of attention. Like I like making people laugh. I like making people feel comfortable and at home and stuff.
Well, maybe you don't like to like take ownership of things, but
Yeah,
like
yeah,
being
yeah.
egotistic can also be, you know, you don't have to be always in the center of attention to be egotistic. You could literally just think to like your higher, like, I don't know. I feel like I could be egotistic at sometimes. I feel like everybody can in a certain way. But yeah, and for these things too, you have to like take it with a grain of salt because,
Oh,
like
yeah,
I said,
absolutely.
there's so much information out there, and it's like I said, everybody, it's like get in the right situation, and you should be egotistic. You know what I mean? Where it's
Yeah,
like,
how do you know? Did you just put all these Leos in a room or so-called
exactly.
Leos? And
That's what I've been thinking. It's like, oh, do you study this for years of like people born at the same time and see if they all have similar traits? Like, I want to know more about that side of
They
like
probably-
how.
I'm sure that
how
there's
are these
studies like
studies done?
that they study people
And like,
that
how do you get into those studies? Because
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that would be really fun.
Yeah,
And
like,
do you get paid? 'Cause
They're
you know
just
what?
like,
Why not?
hey, come stay at this hotel, and like we're just gonna watch what you do and how you interact with people.
Crazy.
Like, that would be kind of cool.
That sounds
That'd be
cool.
a cool experiment, honestly. Okay. Anyways, let's move on from weaknesses and go to your strengths. Honest and loyal,
Hell yeah.
optimistic, energetic, kind, and big-hearted.
I feel like those are pretty true.
Yeah, I agree with all that.
Okay.
And like, yeah, tell me all the good stuff.
And I think that it
Maybe.
starts too with like being really open ended too, to where it's, like, yeah. And yeah. So you know that your symbol is the lion, right? So your ruling planet is the sun, which is really interesting. And that's like one of those things where people say Leos are very much in favor of being in the center of attention, just like everything rotates around the sun.
Wow.
It's kind of like not even your
So I didn't
fault.
even think about that. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like no everybody's planet, like mine is Pluto and Mars, and like, so yours is the sun. So that has a lot to do with it, I think. And it doesn't even mean like all the Leos, like you and the other person that I know, and from everything I've read, it's like you're not one of those like cocky, annoying people that like to be the center of attention. You just like you command a presence in a room.
Ooh.
That's what I'd say.
Dang, feed me. Keep going. No,
So
there it goes.
and
All right,
so-
the ego's coming out now.
Yeah, this is all me. Your weaknesses, that was from this site. I didn't say any of that. But yeah, so I kind of feel like it's more of a presence than necessarily being like an egotistical person that's cocky. It's almost just like you do command a presence in a room and people can feel that you're there,
Cool.
or at least I can feel that you're here. So I agree with that.
I mean, at least you're not invisible.
I know,
Yeah.
right? Don't see me. Don't see
And
me.
some people are better at being invisible than others. So, okay. Let's see. Your lucky day is Sunday. Your
Do you feel lucky on Sundays?
I feel like I relax more on Sunday.
I mean, you're not
That's
working
lucky.
on a Sunday, so
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
good.
that's a good day. Let's see. It says your lucky colors are gold, orange, and yellow. I always think that's so interesting. Do you have any
What's your
feelings
favorite
about
color?
that?
My favorite color is blue,
Okay.
but I mean, gold, orange, or yellow. I mean,
They're all bright.
They're
They're
all
all
bright.
like fire. Like
yeah. Well, I wear a lot of maroon. Currently, I'm not wearing maroon, but if you
Prove
ask-
it.
yeah. If
I'm
you look
wearing-
back at all the videos, I'm probably wearing a lot of maroon. So,
I forget that we're on video like all the time. But
Oh, yeah.
it's
oh
fine.
yeah,
It's
if you're
cool.
listening, I
What's
wear a lot
up?
of maroon.
Like, hey, just know it.
It's
No.
recording, right? I'm pretty sure it's recording.
I tend to like a lot of gold, but it's just like oh cool, that thing's gold.
Yeah, maybe not something you'd wear, but something that you're like, oh, that's pretty. Or like
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
candle fire is beautiful.
Yeah, like
Something like that.
that makes a lot of sense because I love sitting next to a fire and just watching, gazing, and
Yeah.
doing what needs to be thought of next to a fire.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, okay.
For sure. Okay, so I'm just going to start reading. Interrupt me at any point. The zodiac sign of a Leo has the symbol of the lion, and just like a lion, Leo believes that he rules everything else. Don't tell him that he doesn't, because it could break his big, proud, loving heart. Leos can easily go from being very outgoing to plain lazy. If you want to find a Leo, go to the most dazzling places in town. You will find him there, surrounded by people, playing his role beautifully. He likes to live in style and does not like to be bored. There are hardly any introvert Leos, only those who pretend to be introverts.
I mean,
Ooh.
sometimes I pretend to be an introvert, but I guess in a sense, I'm an extrovert. But there's those days where I just don't want to like interact and just be like,
That's like life though, man.
Nah, I
for
think that's
sure.
just
You got to get
I feel like
drained.
that's
You got to
everybody.
recharge
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah,
That's I wouldn't call it pretending to be an introvert necessarily. I'd call it more just recharging yourself because you get exhausted. I mean, some days I wake up and I'm a total extrovert and I'm like, I don't want to see
Yeah.
anybody for a week and I won't.
yeah. Ooh.
When I'm outside this room, I'm pretty extroverted. Well, then once I get in my room,
Like,
I don't want
hermit
to
it
talk
up.
to anybody.
yeah, it's like just let me watch or play video games in peace,
Yeah.
which
no,
I haven't
feel
really
that.
done in a long while.
I feel that.
Crazy.
All right. They're in love with their ego and pride and fiercely protect what they believe to be theirs. The lion loves,
Protect, yes.
but you don't think you have a lot of pride?
Depends on
You're
kind
very
of. There's pride and then there's hubris. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I learned.
I think we'll just let
There's
that
pride
answer
or
speak.
there's what? What's the other
Is it
one?
hubris like having too much pride?
I don't know, man.
I think
I
so.
don't know.
Shoot, I don't know. Am I getting this wrong? Yo, don't quote me. But anyways,
I'm
Hubert,
gonna look it
or-
up.
I mean, like there are certain moments in my life where I'm just like, oh, like I did this. of course, I'll be proud of that.
Yeah.
And, like,
Well,
I'm-
there's a healthy sense of pride. I mean, I think people take pride as like a bad word, and it's really not. Like,
It's not.
Why would you not be proud of what you do
Yeah.
or what you're like, who you're hanging out with, and it's like we always preach all these positive things, being like, oh, like have such a like good group of friends around you and eat
Yeah.
well, and your body is a temple, and it's like you should be proud of that.
Yeah.
You know, you shouldn't
Yeah,
do
yeah.
anything that you're not proud of.
Absolutely
It's
agree.
fine, man.
I don't know.
Just own it.
Yeah. And some people can be more prideful than others, and Leos tend to be.
Yeah, you know, I guess that's right. You know,
That's all I'm trying to say, gently. Okay.
no, my ego's saying no.
And this is my first time meeting him, and I'm just here like totally
Bashing
reading.
him?
Not bashing. I think it's real talk, man.
That's true. That's true.
I mean,
I
if you're listening,
How
and
accurate
you're
is
already
this so
tuning
far
in-
from
Yeah.
what you've heard?
Oh,
Is it-
I mean, personally, yeah, actually, I mean, sometimes I look at my own horoscope and I'm like, "Ah, damn, today's gonna be one of those days. You know what I'm saying? But like, as a Leo, and as you know, looking at all the other Leos that like Andrew's a Leo. My friend, my homegirl.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, you didn't know
Oh,
that?
no.
Boy he's a late Leo though. He's not like a. I don't know. I guess like if you're born right in the middle, then you're a Leo. So I'm a Leo.
You could be on like the transition, like if you're born on like the cusp of,
Yeah.
you know, the two signs.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
because
You
this
can-
in like end of
Andrew's a-
July, so
Yeah,
it's like
Andrew's a turning-
borderline.
yeah, borderline Leo and whatever comes before us, you know. But like I could see where like that prideful or like I see Andrew walk around like he owns the place.
Confidence too.
True.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
good. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Like that's all, and it's like a lion. It's like I think of like an animal. It's good. It's
Yeah.
like they're proud and they are the king of the jungle. You should
Yeah.
be happy. It's good.
Same with my friend,
King of the
like
castle.
Kaylin. Yeah, no, all the Leos I hang out with, I could totally see how we control the room in a sense. And sometimes like I like to step back and be like, all right, y'all do your thing. But
Oh, and that's the thing about knowing you can is also knowing when you don't want to, or you know,
Yeah.
you pass it on and stuff. And that's,
crazy.
yeah, strong personalities for sure. All three of our signs are definitely really, really strong and fixed signs. So we're all very, I'd say, strong personalities. Strong personalities and on a lot of different ways, which is really cool. It's gonna be fun. Okay, let's see. So they protect what they believe to be theirs.
Yes.
The lion loves to give advice on how you should manage your life and sometimes feels himself to be superior to others to give this advice. However, his ego is very vulnerable and he will be deeply hurt if you do not respect his wisdom. It is difficult to ignore the lion for too long because he will be the center of attention sooner or later. Let's just stop there really quick and go back to the whole like superior to others. What do you think about that?
I don't think I'm superior to you. To be honest, like there was a point in time in my life where I was just like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'm better than you.
Oh, so you have been. And
Yeah,
you're-
yeah, but
and
that was
you're
back
like-
then. That
Oh,
was-
totally. And people can grow, and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean that's the whole thing. Is
I was
like,
a younger man then, you know.
and knowing kind of not necessarily your weaknesses, but what you could work on too.
Yeah.
It's like you clearly worked through that, and that's such a good thing. And that's why I think that's one of the reasons I love like reading about stuff like this so much. Is it's almost like more ways to self improve. Where it's like it's hard to hear things sometimes and be like, "Am I?"
Yeah,
selfish?
I mean, when you hear your weaknesses, you're
It's
kind of like,
hard.
oh, I can work on
And
that.
nobody likes to hear, you know, what they're bad at. But it's like, you know, for like one of my weaknesses or something, it'll be like, oh, you know, you're selfish. And I'm like, you know, am I? Or and then it kind of makes you really think. It's like I really didn't think I was being that way, but could I? There's always room for improvement.
There's
So
always room for
that's the nice
improvement.
thing about it. So,
Absolutely.
but it's great that you're already growing so much.
Yeah, I mean, like, well, you know, something happened in my life, and I was like, at that point, I was like, yeah, I got everything I want, everything I need. Like, I'm at the top of this food chain. I'm at my like
Yeah.
golden years or whatever. Obviously,
prime.
my prime. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I was a younger man back then, but you know, things happen, and I'm a firm believer of God. God likes to, you know, take you down a peg or two.
Absolutely.
And then you gotta learn to be a little humble.
Oh,
Well, not
for
actually
sure.
a little. I feel like being a lot of humble, to be honest, is a good thing. Never enough humbleness around this world.
Sit down, bitch.
Yeah,
Be
just-
humble.
That's
Just
exactly.
chillax. Just, you know,
Sit down.
Kendrick Lamar that.
Yep. For real though. For real.
Yeah, but one moment in time in my life, I was.
What was the next one? The ego.
Your ego could be very vulnerable.
I don't
I'm
give a lot of
laughing
advice. To be honest, like I don't give too much advice. If you're younger than me, then sometimes I'll tend to pick up the big brother role. It's like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
you can
Well,
do
just like-
this, and you can this is the path that you should take. And I normally do that with my nephew, and every time and this is probably all the time. Homeboy never listened to me. I'm sitting there like,
does he hurt your ego when he doesn't listen to you?
I sit there in disbelief, like, bro, I've been through this, I've done that, and you could have had a different life if you just followed my advice.
My path. I made you.
I made it for you.
Why do you?
Yeah, I guess in a sense, yeah, that's the case. But these agents are like, all right, I'm gonna give you this advice, and if you take it, you take it. If you don't, well, then hey, cool for you, bro. Like, you do your thing.
Yeah.
I never get sad about it anymore. Just
I feel.
actually, if anything, I give myself advice, and I'm like, my ego hurts myself after I'm like, I didn't take my own goddamn advice. What the
I
fuck?
knew this would happen. I should have done it the other way. And you're like, yeah, that feeling of regret. Yeah, no. All right, let's move on. So the best way to tame him is to flatter him. He will turn into a purring kitten. Purr, can you purr? Praising his intellect will work as much as admiring his appearance will. So is that like true for you? Like physical and mental and emotional is just as important?
You know, body, mind, and soul are like key things in life where you just got to keep them all in balance. And currently, I'm not doing the physical thing, but the mental thing I'm working on. And
it's hard to have all three in line at one time.
It is,
you know, 2 out of 3, you're doing really good.
Heck yeah.
I mean,
that's what
2 out of 3 is good.
That's the 2 out of 3 rule. Try for 3 out of 3 before you die.
Yeah. One day.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. He is very clever and will never bother to waste his energy on something insignificant.
That's absolutely true. Yo, if something just isn't, I mean, there's a lot of things that come into my life, but I tend, for me, time is like one of those things where you can't get back. And I like to spend my time a lot with, my significant other, because like, it's been a hot minute since I've been in a relationship, but I also like love her deeply, and I'd love to spend more time with her, but time is such a heavy thing that you just can't give. And there are certain things in life where it's just like, okay, I can't spend too much time doing this. Like,
oh, for sure. And the sooner you realize that, like, the better you are, honestly, because, yeah, time is priceless. Time is money. Time is priceless. Time is valuable. And like you said, like with your loved one, it's like you will never, the time that you have now is a time that you can take up. So you got to do it,
Yeah.
And I'm so big on that, too. I'm like a wholehearted believer of just living for now and loving and spending time with people that matter and doing significant things with your life. Like,
and you could totally tell, because like, okay, the other day I went and visited my mom, and I'm like, damn, I haven't visited my mom in a long minute, and I'm sitting there, I'm like this is the perfect amount of time that I should be spending just to catch up with my mom, let her know how I'm doing, seeing how she's doing, making sure that she's good, like you get a sense of like completion knowing that you spent the time with somebody that
has poured so much into you, and it's so
absolutely.
important.
It's absolutely important. Yeah,
I feel that. I totally feel that. Okay, let's see. Leo holds back nothing, not his approval or his compliments. In fact, he's very generous with his compliments and can sometimes make you feel self-conscious. What do you think about that? Are you a complimenter or not as much?
Oh, I love complimenting people.
That's pretty true.
You a compliment
that's
guy?
I'm like, yo, JERiCK, that video is so fucking sick.
He's a cheerleader.
That's so sweet. Aw, you're supportive. You're a good friend. I love it. Okay, let's see. At the same time, he is equally vocal about the things that he does not like. What do you think about that? Are you less vocal?
Yeah,
I feel like you're less vocal.
I'm less vocal about it, but
like,
like,
are you vocal if it does cross the point to where you're like, okay, I need to say something?
Yeah. I mean, like, I'll sit there and I'm like, okay, you want to do that shit, do it. Like, but I'm gonna sit here and watch you like do that stupid shit, and then laugh at you, and then tell you, you did some stupid shit.
I feel.
But I mean, like, to each their own. You can't. I learned over the years that you can't tell somebody to, that ego getting hurt because I told somebody to do something, didn't do it. You just gotta sit back and you gotta watch them, like,
it's their path.
Do their thing.
Yep.
I mean, but obviously, I'm there. If anybody ever needed me, I'm literally one call away. Don't text me, because like I've learned that I'm a shitty texter. But if you call me,
that'll get your attention.
yeah, absolutely.
Sounds good. Okay, so there's one thing that you can be sure of. He means what he says. You may or may not like it, but it's his true opinion. Leo plays the perfect host, treating you to the best of everything. What do you think about that?
How do you feel on this podcast?
I'm like, wait, what?
How do you
We're
feel?
hosting.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
hosting you.
Okay, well, I mean, I guess this isn't your like house, so I can't.
True.
I just can't even take that like that metaphor and work with it, guys.
Damn.
Sorry, but like I totally feel like you would be like a super welcoming guy for sure. I don't know like about like hosting. Are you like here's a home cooked meal? Like, are you that kind of guy? You're like there's ice water in the fridge. Like,
I mean, if there's food, I'm gonna be like, yo, have you eaten yet? No, you haven't eaten. I got you.
see, just the fact you ask that
Yeah.
tells me everything. Nobody. I mean, yeah. You're a host. Good job. A lot of people, it's like funny because you'll go to people's houses and like they won't tell you like where the bathroom is or like show you around or like you'll be there for like 8 hours and you don't have water and you're like, hey dude, like where's your water at? Like, could I have a cup of water? And they're like, it's in the kitchen. And you're like looking through their cupboards. And you're like, this is so awkward. Like, just give me a glass of water. But yeah, no, that's great. That's great. Very accommodating. All right. He has a forgiving nature and is full of sympathy. Even in his love life, he easily reconciles after a split up.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
That's just like, I just stop on these like really like blatantly harsh statements where I'm like, I can't just move on from that because it's like, that is, let's see. Leo's,
forgiveness is a very important thing in life. In all honesty, like if you don't give it, like I think it'll just eat you up. To be honest, like
yeah.
to know that. Is that me?
No, it's me.
Oh, might be.
I said I was going to turn it off and then I didn't. But I'm all good.
No worries. No, nobody heard it. But for me, like I've learned to. This is all like things that I've learned to. Is like if I don't learn to forgive, I'm gonna regret it. And like, I mean, I'm trying not to like be bad in people's eyes. But it's not just because like I don't want to be bad in your eyes. It's just because like I don't want my soul to like feel like I've done something wrong. Like I want to ask for forgiveness, but I want to give out forgiveness as well. Like I can't keep harboring like, oh, okay, you did that bad thing to me. Like I'm gonna hold that forever.
For sure.
I cannot.
And forgiving is so important.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different ways of forgiveness too.
Mm-hmm.
You don't necessarily have to like accept that person back into your life. You can forgive them and move on, or you
Yeah,
can forgive
that's
them
true.
and accept them back into your life, or it can be somewhere in between. So it's like it's great to be forgiving for sure, and I think that's something that it's almost better to be more forgiving than less because a lot of people can't learn that skill almost, and it's like people need some grace in life.
Yeah, it's like
Sometimes
what's-
I just
what's
end
the
up
point?
letting it go. Yeah, absolutely. It's just like, okay, I was
Like,
I was
what's the
upset
point of
about
hating
it,
that person,
but
you know?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
At one point, I was just like, whatever, it happened.
Yeah.
And if I have to, I'll apologize. But
If you have to. I like it. I like it. Okay, let's see. It says that you are rarely without a partner, and life without love is a big no-no for you.
it really just depends, what kind of partner you're looking at.
I'm
'Cause
talking about romantic love.
Oh,
partners.
romantic love
Are you
partners.
often single, or do you find that you're in a relationship,
Oh no, Jack, you should ask this. You should answer this way. I feel like
No, I feel like you.
or is it like a healthy balance? Because that's totally a thing.
No,
too.
I feel like you've always been in a relationship.
what? No way. There has been a
No
long
way!
period
I
of
Wow,
mean,
I'm
time.
there-
getting two totally different answers. I love it.
There was, obviously there was a break in between.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think you've been in more relationships than
Then not.
not.
Did not? Wow. I'm gonna tell you, it started in college. Because in high school, I was just like, "What the hell am I doing?"
I feel.
That's crazy. Well, I mean, if you, I guess.
So you're learning a lot about yourself tonight.
I could tell you though. That in those moments of like even if I didn't have like a romantic partner, I was thinking about like a specific person.
So you're like a romantic guy.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you like to be like even what about the last statement? Like that you don't want to live a life without love.
He's definitely a romantic guy. We even say he's a hopeless romantic.
This
Yeah.
podcast was based on.
Yes.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, so this goes into you practically thrive on romance. A Leo is never the one to be dependent on someone. Rather, he likes to lead and be leaned upon.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
He may complain every now and then about the responsibilities, but in his heart, he loves to have them. He dislikes taking help, especially of a financial nature.
Yeah, I've never really accepted money. I'm just like, yo, you need money here, but I don't know.
See, and
I've
that's
never
another
asked.
huge thing about Leos is they're super generous.
Yeah.
They're like the most generous of all signs, which is funny.
Really?
Yeah, that you like just mentioned that without me even having to read it. Like,
Oh, okay, cool.
no, you're super, super generous.
I don't think I've ever asked anybody for like cash monies. I'm just like,
Yeah.
and I normally in my mind I'm like, all right, I think I can achieve this by myself. And if I don't, I mean,
Well, it's
I
almost
got
like
all these credit cards I could lean on.
you make a game plan, like, and that's
Yeah.
how I've always been too. It's like, oh, okay, I can make rent this month working X amount of jobs, but then I can take out this credit card for my gas this month, and then I'll pay it back the next month. You know,
Yeah,
you kind of
yeah.
make that like game for yourself and the little scavenger hunt plan. Just yeah, I don't know. I've never asked for money either, but maybe people do.
Maybe people
have
do.
you asked for money before?
Mm, yeah.
Like
my parents.
Okay, that doesn't count. I feel like.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean if that's the case,
Like,
I'm pretty
okay,
positive I
'cause
asked my
I'm
mom
gonna
and
speak
dad
on
about
our.
it.
Yeah, I was like,
But
I
yeah,
think.
but yeah, not none of my friends.
Yeah. Family doesn't really.
Yeah.
I haven't asked them since the end. I haven't asked them since college. You know what I'm saying? Like as soon as I graduated college, like I'm on my own. Like when I moved out, I'm just like, oh, okay, then well, this is a new world, and I go and I grab some food. I mean,
Yeah.
but other than that, like I've never asked for money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like financially, I want to be stable on my own, and
Oh,
even if
for
I'm
sure.
not stable on my own, I want to make sure that I grind enough to be. I mean, like one, I have a story. Two, it's just like I'm trying to take care of myself, and three, like it's just the right thing to do. It's like
Yeah, for sure.
gotta be stable.
I love it. Okay, it says you will give a loan to almost anyone, like you just said. You probably, yeah. A Leo may run out of cash easily since he's anything but cautious with it. However, he
Let
will.
me tell you, I'm broke right now.
You're always giving away your money and buying shit you want. Let's see, but however, he will always be the best dressed person at the party. I
I'm
think
not
you're-
really dressed quite well right now.
Hey, I mean, I'd say we're like all dressed. I feel like I'm never well dressed. I definitely
okay.
am not best dressed at the party. I feel like both of you guys look nicer than me.
I
just
mean,
show up regular.
Yeah, you know.
Regular.
Yeah.
I do regular.
But if I need to dress up, then I dress up.
Oh yeah, if it's a party and I'm trying to look good.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they saying like going out, you're always the best.
Oh
dressed.
okay, yeah. Well, I mean,
I feel like I'm average.
I'm average. Yeah.
Yeah.
It really depends.
I mean,
it depends on the situation. If you're
I
just
do
going to the bar,
put myself together, but not like try so hard.
yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm just gonna go to a bar and hang out with friends, no, I mean I don't need to like
Yeah.
be. But if I'm trying if when I was single and I was peacocking, I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
all right, I gotta look good.
Yeah.
Somebody gotta see me.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man. Okay. A Leo will either be extremely careless and sloppy or meticulously neat and orderly.
I'm very neat and orderly
All the time.
When back in the day when I lived with my parents, I was very sloppy for sure. But now that I'm on my own, I'm very neat. I like to keep my bed nice and neat, like the way JERiCK does, and like normally my room is pretty clean. If I get, I'll tend to get lazy throughout the by the time Saturday hits, and like it's Saturday night, and then my clothes are on the floor. But by Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon or Sunday night, it's back to clean.
Back to clean. Yeah. No, I feel that. Let's see. He is extremely fixed with his ideas, and it's sometimes hard to convince him against his opinions. He likes to do one thing at a time. When he's working, you can be sure that he will forget to have his lunch as well. Is that saying you're not good at multitasking, I think? What do you think about that?
I'm gonna tell you, yeah, it's pretty true. You know what? I'll work. I'll be at work, and I try to multitask. Let's just say that I try. I attempt.
Honest effort.
Yeah, honest effort. Because my work deals with a lot of customer service, and I gotta care to these people, and I also have all these things a list of things that I need to do on my own, and then but also I'm trying to grow a side hustle. I'm trying to understand and know how to do videography and photography. I want that to grow.
Yeah.
But I'll sit there and while I'm doing work, when there's nobody bothering me or anything, I'll have these days I'll have YouTube popped up and it'll be saying all these things of this plethora of knowledge I need to listen to, and I'll be listening to it and I'm like, oh yeah, that's cool, and then I'd have to stop, listen to that portion, and then I'm not actually working, and then I'd start working again. And I miss out on something super important.
Oh, totally.
I
Which
can't.
is good because it means that you're like actually focused on it and like
Yeah.
listening, not half listening. So
I need to focus. Yeah,
gotta do that. That's not a bad thing. Let's see. They fiercely defend what they believe to be theirs. He is a powerful enemy, but one with morals. Creativity and originality are his fortes. Even though he has an ego, he is arrogant and can sometimes overflow with pride. He is extremely good at heart. Being with a Leo will mean that you always have someone to care for, though you may have to flatter them every once in a while.
Sorry, baby.
Yeah.
All true.
That's
Crazy.
pretty cool. So that was like the site stuff that I had, and then I wrote down a couple
Damn, look at
extra
her.
things.
Look at her handwriting, dude.
Dang.
Yeah, dude.
You show it.
I'm a little bit crazy.
It's pretty
Look
nice
at your
Handwriting
handwriting.
is very neat.
Thank
you know?
you.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
looks like from far away. It just looks like, like you're marking.
Yeah. You ever see like those like
Like
journals?
tallies?
Yeah. The
Oh,
tallies.
that's-
It's like, oh wow.
I feel it. Well, thank you. I was like obsessive as a child with writing, and so it just carried into my adulthood. Like I just have good handwriting, and I don't know how it got
Yeah,
that way. And
it's very
I
neat.
hold my pencil like this. So like when I'm writing,
It's very odd.
it looks like I'm holding it like this, like a child.
Yeah.
I put it right here and I write like this. And so people make fun of me all the time. And that's always something that I've gotten where it's like, oh, why do you do that? And then I have a little knob on my finger, like a bone thing that grew.
But
So
it's still impressive that you actually do write. Like, there's a lot of things. I haven't written anything in a long time. Like, I feel like my pencil skills.
You know what?
like,
Those are the first few things that I've written in a long, long time.
Yeah, right. You end up like typing things or texting
Yeah, I type
things.
everything on
yeah,
my.
it's like underrated
yeah.
to write. And like I'm kind of like that. I feel like I sound so old fashioned with my cooking
No,
and
it's a
handwriting.
beautiful thing.
But like I love
You gotta
I love
stick
to
to
write
it.
letters. Like I write letters to people
That's
all
cool.
the time. Like
That
all
is a
the time.
lost art.
Yeah, and I like stationery it. Like I
Yeah.
go to a thrift store and get like old fashioned stuff, and I like
Oh.
write it, and I'll send it to like my best friend's grandma. Like
Yeah.
I literally am
That's
writing like
pretty
grandmas
awesome.
out here because nobody else wants to do it, and I'm like it's fine. Like but it's so fun. Like and I really do feel like it's a lost art, and I'm like I want to at least do it even though nobody else
Calligraphy.
does.
My sister started calligraphy like
So fun.
sometime last year, and she's super into it. And
It's
you know,
so
it's a beautiful art. Like handwriting in itself, you just
Mm-hmm.
never you don't remember it until like college. Yeah, you kind of wrote, but then we're in that
Yeah.
age where technology.
You can't turn in a handwritten.
Yeah, even
thing.
when I was in
You
college,
know,
I
it's
didn't
like
really take notes.
it's like you kind of take notes a little bit, but it's like most people take notes on their laptop unless
Yeah.
they were me.
Yeah.
I
used to like have the pen on the tablet, and
Oh, that's sweet.
like my handwriting on pen and paper, amazing. My handwriting on tablet, I'm like, who the hell wrote this chicken
It's like a
scratch?
different
Am I a
language.
doctor? I'm set to be a doctor.
What do you
That is
What do you have on your notes there?
yeah. What's
Okay,
on your
so
notes?
let's see. Leos can get easily caught up in emotions. You can fester in your emotions, and then they build up, and then you kind of have a breakdown sometimes, or not an explosion, but it's like your emotions will get the best of you at times. Is that what do you think about that
No
statement?
comment. No,
No comment.
I feel like
This is
that
just-
last
this
statement
is
was pretty accurate.
That's pretty accurate.
Okay,
I try not to let my feelings control over me, but
you do feel.
yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. There's many a times when like me and JERiCK we will talk about like our previous relationships or how we feel about a certain event in our life, and and I'll vent to JERiCK, and I'm like, and then JERiCK's like, dude, just chill.
Yeah. No, I feel it. Okay, so males tend to be more extroverted versus a more introverted female Leo, which I think is really interesting because, like, do you have female Leo friends?
Yes.
Are they super outgoing or are they more introverted than males? Like, I thought that was an interesting statement.
She likes to go out, but then she also has a family, so she's just like, man, I don't want to go do this. I'm just gonna stay at home. But then
She's probably more introverted.
yeah, she's more introvert than she is extrovert. Or no,
Yeah.
she's more introvert than she is extrovert. In all honesty, she will go and present that Leo, that lioness, but she's like, fuck it, I'm at home. I'm gonna take my pants
Yeah,
off.
she can kind of turn it on and off. And
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
That's cool. Okay, and then I kind of took like the little like what it said for your 2020 horoscope or whatever, and it was just like what to focus on and
What's
what it
on
said
your
you would
2020, bro?
Let's
what
go.
you would prosper in and stuff. And it's just a couple words. It's nothing big, but it said that for this year you are motivated to improve your life. You are extremely motivated to have a healthy lifestyle via daily routines, work, health, and one-on-one relationships.
True.
So basically focusing on what, like you were saying, like significant relationships that make you happy and like fueling your soul. Like it's your year and you're super cautious of it and like just aware and intentional this year.
Well, I mean, I feel like it's not just it's it's not just me, but I feel like the world is kind of like tossing me in that direction. It's just like, look, you made all these bridges.
Yeah.
Don't
It's your sun,
you know,
your rotation.
you gotta go and cross these bridges every now and then.
Yeah.
And then I didn't realize, how popular I was until until all these people were like, hey, what are you up to? And I'm like, oh,
Nice.
just chilling, like working, doing podcast stuff. And next thing you know, they're like, let's go chill. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Nice.
try-
Growing
try
that
my best.
social system.
I try. I'm sorry, guys.
Like it.
Don't text me. Call me.
Awesome. Well, that's pretty much like the main stuff I have for Leos.
Crazy.
Yeah. Pretty crazy.
Anything pretty accurate?
Yeah, it's pretty accurate. And I
Just-
mean,
It's just a basic personality trait thing. It's, take it with a grain of salt. But
for all you Leos out there
Cool.
who just tuned in, do you guys feel the same way? Leave a comment below, let us know, or rate the podcast and just tell us, like, yo,
Yeah.
I am a Leo and I'm a
Yeah.
strong, independent Leo. Don't need.
Don't need no man.
yeah.
But I mean, if you're not, then if you're quite the opposite, I'd like to know that too.
Yeah.
Totally. Let us know what you think.
All right. Do it.
Yes. Okay. So you.
It's time to talk shit in my face. Let's go.
I love how you guys think it's talking shit.
I want to know his weaknesses.
It's
Yeah,
good.
tell me.
It's good for you to hear, boys.
Tell me my weakness.
Okay. Let me get to where I'm going. Okay. So you are the bull. Your ruling planet is Venus. You're also a fixed sign, just like me and him. And then your element is earth. So you're the earth element.
Ooh.
It's actually really cool because you're fire, you're earth, and I'm water. So we're representing 3 out of the 4
We just
elements.
need that air.
We
Where's
need
the air? at?
air. We need
Captain
a
Planet.
seriously.
Where's the avatar? Where we needed it the most?
All right, and then so your lucky day says Friday. Basic or
Is it true?
I don't know.
It's
I don't feel like I
Friday
ever have a
night.
favorite day depending on my
Yeah.
schedule. My
Every
schedule
day is
always
lucky day for me.
lucky guy. Lucky colors. This is kind of funny. Pastel shades. You don't have a color, you just have shades. But pastel shades, which is pretty amazing. I don't know how you feel about those. Maybe you'll be keen on them later.
feel like
Actually,
it's true.
It's not bad.
JERiCK has all
This
these
is-
lights.
I mean,
past-
this is not pastel. That's like a little bit more neon-ish.
I don't know. Pastel shades. though.
Sure. Okay,
Pastel
let's go with that.
shades. All right. Oh, and your luck. I didn't tell you your lucky flower.
You didn't tell
what
me
is
my
my
weakness.
what's my
I thought
lucky
you were
flower? Real
gonna-
quick, hold on.
Oh.
I want to know what my
like-
lucky flower is.
Okay, I have to.
Is it an orchid? I really hope it's an orchid.
Is it an orchid?
love
Let me
orchids.
look into it because I'm not on your page anymore, and I
So
don't.
no worries.
I don't want to mess myself up.
Yeah.
Okay, but
Just remind her later.
yeah, remind me later. Your lucky flower though is a daffodil and daisy.
I don't even know what those
They're
are.
like
I mean, I've heard of
wild.
Daisy, but I don't know what they look like.
I feel like
They're both
Are-
like yellow and white. Like one
Yeah,
of
yeah,
them's
yeah.
white and yellow, and then
Yeah.
the daffodils are like yellow. I feel like.
Okay.
Happy flowers.
happy flowers.
Okay.
All right.
I'll take it. Would have preferred rose, but okay.
Don't we all? Alrighty. So Taurian zodiac signs are represented by the symbol of the bull. And just like a bull, you are strong and silent. In the first instance, you can come across as extremely quiet and a little bit reserved. Only after you get close to them will you have a proper conversation rather than simple monologues or small talk. He moves deliberately and is as steady as the Rock of Gibraltar. So there's a little historical reference for you. You're very strong though and steady.
Cool.
Once a Taurus has made up his mind, it's impossible to move him even slightly. If you leave him alone, he will come across as a very easygoing person. What do you think about all that so far?
Truth.
Okay. You push him somewhat and he becomes stubborn. Still trying to make him budge, beware of his violent temper. He is hardly impulsive and never gets angry without reason. In fact, he has perfect control over his emotions most of the time. But when he does get angry, it's better not to get in his way or you are bound to get trampled. The anger also takes time to come down. What do you think about your anger?
Truth.
Yeah.
I'm not as angry as I used to be, but I definitely had a pretty bad temper back in the day.
And you're super, like, at least from this, it's like you are very, like, not emotionless, but you control your emotions really well, it seems like.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah.
stoic.
I was going to say
no,
stoic.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
But
true.
then I
That's
didn't
true.
want to, like, just
they-
come at
they
you
know,
with
yeah.
your weaknesses. But
Alright.
sorry, going back to your weaknesses.
Oh, are those my weaknesses?
Nope.
Oh.
I just started right
I was like,
in.
that doesn't
You
sound like a
have-
weakness at
You
all.
have others. No, okay. So your weaknesses are you are stubborn, which we already talked about. I don't think that's a weakness
I
necessarily.
don't think that's a weakness either, but okay.
Aggressive, dislikes change, and can be sensitive. What do you think about
Those are
sensitive?
like, those are not my traits at all, except
Yeah.
for the stubborn one.
Yeah.
So repeat those again. So
Sensitive, aggressive, dislikes change, and is stubborn.
nope.
I don't know. I feel like you like change. I mean, I don't know. You
I like change.
You embrace change.
Yeah.
For sure.
So
I mean, you don't have to agree with it. I'm just here to read your thing. Let's see about your strengths. It says that you are compassionate, dependable, loyal and reliable, and strong, physically as well as emotionally.
I don't know about physically, but yeah.
You don't think you're stronger than like the average person, or just like
No, definitely not. I'm average.
We should do like some deadlifts over here. And
I just
I can't do
maybe I
deadlifts.
just think of the
What?
average
No
person
way.
as like just really unhealthy. I feel like all of us are pretty strong people here.
I
feel like we could all
suppose.
So.
we could throw a shot put ball really far.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know.
I'm somewhat athletic.
Yeah.
But
do you,
I'm
do you go
not-
to the gym or work out at all or not?
Yeah.
Okay.
Once in a
that's
while.
way
Yeah,
That's
I
more-
guess.
now and then.
That's more than most people do.
That's
Yeah,
true.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
true.
That's way more than most people
so
do.
you are stronger than
I suppose.
than the average.
Okay.
But I'm definitely
so,
not physically strong,
so-
like lifting wise. Yeah.
going back to your weaknesses, like reading about it too later on, like just think about it too, because it doesn't need to be like your entire characteristic of being sensitive. It's being like, okay, so for example, my husband is a Taurus. And I've known him for over a decade. He's not a sensitive, like he is emotionless. He's so logical, but he is so sensitive when it comes to specific things. And it's probably 1% of his personality, but it's such a strong shining point that it's like, I can't not call him I would never describe him as a sensitive person, but like knowing him well, I'm like, I know if I do something, especially in relationships and love,
I
like
think-
he's so sensitive.
So, yeah, I get that. I can be sensitive when it comes to romantic relationship, but everything else, I don't really give a fuck.
Yeah. That's how I
yeah.
am too.
So I guess
We've talked about that before. It's not, I wouldn't call you a
But-
sensitive person.
yeah. So,
necessarily,
but in general stuff, like I'm not sensitive at all.
All right, let's see.
I absolutely agree with that. Actually, thinking about it now, It's just like, you're the type of like, oh fuck it.
No, he's yeah.
It's a fuck it personality.
Or
Yeah,
just like
It's not a bad personality, I think.
or even just like get over it, kind of too, where it's like instead of dwelling on something, you're like, how do I move on from it? Or like,
True.
That's how I am too, to where I'm like, instead of feeling, I'll never really let myself feel sorry for myself. I'm like, how can I fix it immediately or distract myself with something positive? Like,
Yeah. Because I mean, it's not like I don't feel those emotions. It's just
yeah,
I kind
you
of
react in a different way.
I get over it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. You are hardly impulsive and usually don't get angry without a reason. Let's see. Oh, I already read that. My bad.
Yeah.
Let's see. Worrying, fretting, or getting nervous is definitely not a characteristic of a Taurus. It's in his nature to be stable and stoic. Stoic. See, we called it. He takes his decisions slowly after careful consideration. You love your home and change can upset you. So like that goes back to the change thing. You don't think change upsets you ever? You always like
I
change?
love change.
Yeah. And we talked about that earlier too.
Maybe now, maybe before I didn't enjoy change, but now I do. Yeah.
Like if somebody was like, you want to move, like you'd be like, yeah.
Okay, maybe.
Because like on the drop of a hat, this is talking about your home and your life and what you want to do. Somebody's like, hey, do you want to go to Texas for like a year and a half? And it's not someplace you necessarily want, but it's an
Okay, so
opportunity.
probably not that extreme, but yeah, I have to think about it and make sure
Yeah.
So if it's like
it fits my
Because it goes back to you process things.
fits
and
my
you-
needs.
Yeah.
If
for
it
sure.
does, then I'll
So, like,
totally move.
if
But
you if the color of your room were to change tomorrow,
You'd be cool with it.
you'd be cool with
If
it.
it was just like bright red.
You'd have to think about it.
depending on the color.
See, okay, baby, you aren't just cool with change.
I think
It's
everybody-
drastic change.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're good with change.
I'm just saying think of it in a different way.
I think maybe I'm thinking about it as a change, as like a personal growth. But
no, it's not like that at
if
all.
somebody comes in and change my shit,
That's what it's talking about, like
then
physically in
probably,
life.
yeah.
Hey, what the fuck, my
Yeah,
shit?
don't move my shit.
No, and it's literally saying like you don't like change in like your home and your.
Okay, that's absolutely
If something
true.
comes and it disturbs your immediate environment, you might be a little bit upset about it.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, let's see. Don't tell a Taurus that he's stubborn because he won't believe it. He thinks of himself being patient. What do you think about that?
I'm patient and stubborn.
Yeah.
If you tell me I'm
both?
stubborn, I don't really care.
You don't care. You're
Yeah.
like, think what you want.
Yeah. It's not going
I
to
love
affect me.
Oh, man. Okay. Taurians have this amazing quality of...
Taurians, that sounds so cool.
Yeah, you're a Taurian.
I'm a Taurian.
Taurian.
Like Koreans.
That's how what I was thinking.
Oh my goodness. You have an amazing quality of bearing emotional and physical pain, even for years, without grieving or complaining. The more troubles that come pouring in, the stronger you will come out to be.
Emotional pain for sure. I don't have a high tolerance for physical pain, but emotional, I feel like I can take it.
Taurus is nothing if not loyal and dedicated to his family and friends. He has a good appetite and loves food and drinks.
I do love food.
Do you love drinks too?
Yes.
Getting into that life. He has a funny bone too. It's just that he prefers broad and slapstick comedy to subtle humor. That's a really interesting statement there. That's specific.
Like very outrageous
No,
comedy?
you like
know.
that
Wait, what's slapstick?
that's slapstick. It's like
Broad and slapstick comedy.
What is slapstick?
I genuinely do not know.
it's like I feel like it's like
I like dark humor.
I like dark humor. That's
everybody
my
loves
favorite
dark
kind.
humor.
I
It's
feel like
funny.
some people don't though.
What's
Because when you
slapstick?
tell somebody a dark joke and they don't get it, you know, like
the
you're
heck?
like,
That's the funny
oh,
part about
shit.
it.
What's
Yeah.
what's slapstick?
I feel like
Should I?
slapstick is like have you ever seen Harry, Curly, and Moe, the Three Stooges? I think that's kind of
Oh, like
slapstick.
that?
Yeah, or
Or
kind
like
of like
Dumb and Dumber?
What the
Dumb and
heck?
Dumber, or
Okay,
like
I
How I
just
Met Your
Googled
Mother.
it.
It's like
Oh.
Okay. I mean, I do love...
I love How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
Slapstick is a style of humor that involving exaggerated physical activity that exceeds boundaries of normal physical
Yeah.
comedy. It may involve intentional violence or use of props.
I mean, it's funny, but I prefer a more smart comedy. I
Yeah,
guess.
like witty. Just
Yeah.
same.
I mean, Jackass is funny, and seeing people getting hurt is kind of funny.
Yeah. You're in the mood.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. You are hardly cruel. Just randomly throws that in there. At the same time, you are seldom broke.
they
Then-
need to know.
Yeah, and then it just goes and it's like you're never broke. Sooner or later, the money will always come to them.
That's kind of true, actually. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I never really had to worry about money.
Like it always worked out for you. The universe.
Yeah, it just worked out.
just blessed you with money.
Blessings.
Yeah.
It's pouring. I mean,
I
come
mean,
on, you got
not-
that.
I
You
love
got
it.
gigs galore like these
But
days.
not like, raining money, but,
Well, you're
Yeah.
making it. Yeah, making
Surviving.
it by. Making it by.
Oh, so you're like this then.
You just
Just little.
have a
Or
ball
just
on
all
the
one.
budget, dude. That's what it is.
I love it. All right. You are not stingy, and your pockets, along with your heart, are open to the friends and family that you love.
That's a funny statement because I'm not financially. I'm not very generous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's weird because I feel like I can be generous, but for the most part, I don't necessarily just treat everybody out of
for sure.
nowhere.
But if you were, it would only be for friends and family, right?
Yeah.
Like it would never be you're not the type of person to be buy these people behind me all
Oh
their
hell
food."
no! I'm not that type of person at all.
I have a sidebar really quick on my birthday when I was I think I was 21. I don't even know. I was driving and for some reason it was midnight and I was coming home from something and I was by myself and I went to In-N-Out because I really wanted a burger and I bought everyone in line their food. And I think that I was a little tips, but I was why did I do literally $150 on my In-N-Out from
Dang.
it? Yeah, can you imagine? I was who am I? I have
I should
multiple
have been behind there
personalities.
because
I've gotten a couple of
right
those.
now. I'm hungry.
And they were I got to the window and I was it's my birthday. And they were oh, why are you paying for everybody's? I was I don't know why I thought it made sense.
Yeah.
So I was yeah.
I got a couple of those. Well, not me, but as a receiver on that when like Starbucks. Usually happens on like Christmas time.
Oh, the time
And
of
people
giving.
are like,
Yeah,
yeah, we
like
got
during
your
the
drink.
holidays, people
Yeah.
just like, oh, the next 10 cars will just get free shit.
Yeah.
I've gotten a couple of those. Those are cool.
No,
But
those are the best. That happens all the time.
I've never done that personally, but
Makes sense.
maybe.
I think what this is saying too is like if you were to, it would only be to your very close friends and family.
Yes, that's
and that's kind of
absolutely
how
true.
Tom
Yeah.
is as well. My husband, he would never, but for me or for other people, like he's super generous
Oh,
when
yeah.
it comes to like buying stuff and financially. So
yeah, when
I think
I'm
it
out,
depends.
even when I'm like get super drunk, I still have
You're like, it's
my
money.
my financial is still sober.
Yes, I love
But, like,
it.
I'm
That's
not-
so
yeah.
lucky. Wow. Yeah, I get drunk and I'm like, buy everybody drinks. Like, on me.
Oh no.
I'll buy everybody's Ubers too. And then it's just
Yeah,
gets to be
I'll buy
way-
a couple of my friends' drinks, but yeah.
No, it's bad. All right. Music usually has a very special place in your life.
Yes.
Yeah, no, most definitely.
Yeah, I love music.
I think that's really important for people like you. Bulls.
People like me,
The Bulls.
The Bulls.
the
Yeah.
Taurians,
Taurians.
Sounds like Worldcraft, you know?
Taurians.
You're a Taurid.
Your kind.
Yes.
The ideas of a Taurus are always sensible as well as practical. He is not the one to build castles out of air. Synonymous with lasting love, Taurian people are not prone to wandering. They like nice things but detest waste or extravagance. Last but not least, they are dependable, strong, patient, and trustworthy. What do you think of?
Fairly accurate.
Fairly accurate?
Yeah.
There's... let's see.
Tell me more about my weakness.
Your weaknesses?
I don't know. Does it even?
Your weaknesses are, yeah. I feel like it's kind of strange to not identify to all of them, but I wonder if it's like just you're thinking of them in a different way.
But I mean,
because like going
when
through
you
those
told me
all-
about the change, like, yeah, if you were to move shit around here, I would probably like.
you,
I don't like
you're
that.
like, excuse
Yeah.
me, please don't.
Could you put that over
Yeah,
there?
because I like things in a specific way. I have a little bit of OCD.
Oh, I like that.
Um,
That's how I am too. I like my stuff to be in a very
but
specific
yeah, so
way.
I guess me not liking change in that sense, then yeah, I don't.
Yeah, no, I feel it. Okay, let's see. There was something really cool that I can't find necessarily right now, but it was basically saying like you are passive, like basically saying like you know so much and are so capable, but you're not going to necessarily go out of your way to just like do things for people even though you're fully capable. But as soon as somebody's like asks you, you like almost have like a plan, like you're like, of course I can help you, and like you'll jump to their help immediately, and like
Yeah.
that type of thing where it's and I think that's like a really interesting, true, specific thing to the Taurus, because it's like you are passive but you're so capable. It's not that you're being like rude or trying to step out in any way. You're just not like overly like giving to the point where you're like, let me do this for you, let me do it. You're kind of just like, if they ask, you're the first one there to be helping, but you're not necessarily the one that is like, let's do this for you, or you know what I mean, or
True. I can agree with that. That's true.
yeah, I definitely thought that was interesting. All right, let's see. Here's another little tidbit from a different site about your traits. You come across as a very calm, quiet, practical, composed, and humble, level-headed person. You take one step at a time and not after too much deliberation, but some. Let's see. You will take time to decide whether you are a person. Oh, this is talking about your mate. You are going to take a lot of time to decide whether you are the person with whom he can spend his entire life. But once he makes up the mind that you are the one for him, he will go to any lengths to win your love. These efforts include being romantic to the core, sending you flowers, etc. Do you think you're romantic when you get into it, or are you still kind
Yeah.
of laid back? Like,
You read that one time?
what's the
What
one
one
time?
time?
The flowers and then you had the fake one?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Aww. I love stuff like that. So like for me, like my favorite thing about Tom is he will do like, he is so not the type of person to like do a lot for me or buy me jewelry or like even say like I love you, or he's not super just like just telling me, showering me with compliments, but he will like leave me like a fortune or like a wine bottle like made, like he'll make something for me with like a note on it that's like super significant and it means like everything to me. Like he does like these tiny little gestures that I'm like, or like he'll rearrange my keychain or like fix things for me and I'm like, that was the nicest thing anybody's ever done for me. Like just subtle little nice things like that. And I'm like, I feel like you guys have a knack for just like not doing typical stuff, or like even if you do, it's like somehow unique. It's like weird. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I guess I can. Yeah. I could do that. Yeah, I remember giving this girl was it a bouquet? A bouquet?
A bouquet.
Was it a bouquet?
Yeah, it was a bouquet of roses. You're like,
yeah, roses.
You're like,
and then there was a fake one in there. Yeah. I read it somewhere and I was like, oh, something about like my love for you will never.
You literally like, said, yeah. You said
die.
My love for you will last until the
last roses.
The last of these roses live.
Oh, you're
and
right.
The one
poetry
rose,
out here. You're like,
yeah.
Ooh.
So like technically, one of those roses would never die.
Never die
because it's a fake one.
Oh my gosh, I love it. See, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
And
though.
I think she kept it.
No,
she told me a while back that she still had it for. Yeah.
Crazy.
You can't get rid of that.
Yeah.
She's gonna have it forever.
Those my romantic days.
Your romantic days.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll come back.
It's not as romantic as it used to be. I feel like it's a little bit different this time around. Yeah. Maybe. I don't know.
You'll see if your romantic nature comes out. Being a fixed earth sign, you are extremely grounded and practical in your approach to everything. You never escape from the reality of the world, and you face all obstacles coming in your path very strongly. You support your close ones who are highly emotional in nature. Your desire for finer things like food and luxurious possessions that stimulate your physical senses. Ooh. The element... I'm like, what does that mean? I literally...
Luxurious.
Like cologne? Like, I'm like, what is
cologne.
it? It's like talking about, like, it's like literally... I mean, I could see that, though. You have a candle going right now. Ambiance. Mood, fragrance, senses.
Yeah. I suppose.
Let's see. Okay, cool. Well, enough of the internet. Let's see what I wrote.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you have a lot of notes for Taurus since your husband is.
Yeah, I was like actually learning a lot. I didn't know that Taurus and Scorpio were opposite signs completely on the Zodiac, and so they have like the strongest attraction, but only like an attraction because intellectually.
Scorpios are what month?
November. Yeah. I don't know the exact
September, November, or November, December.
Like October, November. Yeah. Like October 20 something into November, early November. I don't know the exact dates. I'm not a pro, but that area. So I'm like a fall baby right after Halloween.
Okay.
Yeah, but we're opposites, but it's funny because it's literally just like you get brought together almost in life, but then it's like intellectually you are very different, which is, I mean, it's really true, at least with me and my husband. Like he is so intelligent and logical, and I am emotional and passionate and creative, and I fully am ruled by my emotions, whereas he is fully ruled by logic. I don't know if you seem like a pretty logical guy.
Yeah, I'm definitely more logical than emotional.
Say, yeah, you're definitely on that logical side, like a typical Taurus.
Taurians.
Let's see. So you do not lack self-confidence, but female Taurians do. Typically, they are a little bit, not saying that they're not confident people, they're just less confident than males. Like you don't really care what people really think of you. But it doesn't even necessarily mean that you're confident and that like you think you're the shit. It's just like you're cool with where you're at. You don't care what other people think of you.
Okay.
You're comfortable in your own skin.
Absolutely true.
Truth be to that.
Yeah.
And borderline think that I'm the shit.
Yeah. Dude, I think I'm the shit though. So you're gonna have to fight me for that title.
Okay.
Do you think you're the shit? No, he's probably more
I
humble.
don't really.
We got one level-headed guy here.
I know, right?
We need you.
We gotta keep this.
We need
we
you.
gotta keep this podcast grounded.
Yeah, seriously. But on the flip side, you are confident, but you also need validation more than other signs. And don't think of that in a verbal way, like, "Oh, you're so amazing," or "You're so." I think it's more for. it's more like support or more.
Yeah, I mean, I do
you-
like the support and the validation, but
For
I don't
sure.
necessarily need it.
No, for
Yeah.
sure. You appreciate it more than
Yeah.
the other signs, is what it's saying. But yeah, I'd think more not in like necessarily a verbal way, but just being supportive in the lifestyle and also just like not bringing you away from that thing too. By supporting you by like just existing on their own too. I feel like that's a total thing.
Yeah.
Not dragging you down. Let's see. Oh, your patience is circumstantial. So it's basically saying that you're patient and to a certain extent, and then you could get frustrated because things aren't going necessarily your way.
Yeah, I guess I can kind of.
Yeah.
Just depends.
You are a circumstantial. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What you see is what you get kind of person. Like that's you. It's kind of just like there's
Yeah.
not, you don't have like, obviously you have more to you. And like it said first, you kind of have to have that conversation to get deeper with you for sure. But I think it's almost like once you like meet you and know the real you, like you totally like are true to yourself all the time. Whereas somebody, I'm comparing it to somebody like me, whereas like I feel like I'm a different person depending on the day you see me almost. Like I'm seriously like, and not in like I'm always the same core, but like I'm always, I literally say that I have multiple personalities because that's how I feel. Like I'm just like,
I feel like everybody does.
yeah, some just
Maybe.
show up more than others.
That's true.
For sure. Let's see. Like people didn't even used to recognize me because I'd dye my hair and change my personality so much. Like not change my personality, but my entire look. Like I'd have black hair one day and be wearing like eyeliner, and then I'd come in completely blonde, like natural face, and like and then I would just
Who are you?
because
I know,
I
right?
was like
I'm
almost like
Michaela.
reflecting like how I felt almost, which was so different and like contrasting. But yeah. Let's see. You can weather life storms well. That's one thing that you're so stable. Pretty much like anything can happen to you and you're not going to be very affected by it. Like,
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of true.
and you're a stable person for like other people too. Like it mentioned, like supporting your more emotional like friends or your more whoever, maybe your significant other one day will be more emotional and you will be that
Yeah.
tree because that's how Tom is for me. If I had another person like me, like it would be bad. Like in my
It's
past
just a shit show.
that's all my past relationships. Like literally, it's like, oh, it's because they were also crazy like me. Like it's just like having that stable, constant. Just it's like you know what you're gonna get, kind of.
Yeah,
you know?
that's true.
There's variations of it, but it's just like I always know Tom's gonna be Tom. Like with me, it's like, oh, I wonder how Mahala's feeling today. Like,
Which is
And,
it,
like-
Mahala or Mahala that's gonna show up today?
yeah, exactly. Which one? Let's see. Okay, so I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about how. So it's really, really cool because we are all fixed signs. And
What does that
they're-
mean?
Yeah.
So basically, it means that we are grounded people. We have tendencies to do more than other signs. Like we can put our thoughts into action. Kind of, we think of something and we do it. It's also just being like the stable sign where it's like I'm always have those Scorpio tendencies. You always have those stable, we're always very true to ourselves, even though we're all really different. We're always like the same type of people. Other signs can like fluctuate more and are more influenced by the world around them. So basically like we're signs that like root, like that's what the like words that they use. And we have the discipline to create and manifest our ideas and desires to take shape in real life. We are all known for being stubborn. We have a similar way of engaging with the world despite obvious personality differences. All of us are very resilient, like you were saying, like emotionally, and like I'm sure you've been through some shit in life, like I can tell. So it's like you're badass, like I just know. But like it's
shit,
like
thanks.
yeah, no, it's like we're all
You're feeding
resilient.
his ego.
We're all sitting. Hey, that's how I get Leos to like me, right?
Yeah, you're doing great.
No, but like we're all sitting here smiling and talking about our life and like not letting anything that's happened to us in the past like consume us.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like we're resilient. Like we make it through and it makes us stronger. Like we're like a weed, like a desert
survivor.
weed. Yeah,
Exactly.
no, for real though. And that's like a specific thing to those fixed signs. But the really cool thing that I thought was awesome is there is one fixed sign for each element. So we are those one signs. Like that's kind of crazy because there's there's 3 different options for each element, and then the fact that we were each like no others in our element are fixed.
No way.
Interesting.
So the only one we're missing is air, like the air
Yeah.
element that's fixed, which is like Aquarius, I think. So like it's just like I was like, oh my gosh, we're all fixed signs. Like, what are the odds of that? Like, kind of cool.
Crazy.
Yeah, I thought it was cool.
We're cool people.
yeah.
Let's see. We each create stability in a different way, which I think is super true. We could stick through difficult times and withstand pressure. It's very hard for us to let go, though, even when it's a lost cause sometimes. And that's something that the fixed signs all had in common. It was saying that, like, not in every circumstance, but each one of us has a thing that it's like, it's hard for us to let certain things go. And yours is like love, you know, it's like you kind of get a little bit more like, you know, attached and connected because that's what you care about so much. And like for you, it's more just like, I don't even know, like yours is harder because you're, like.
I mean, I can agree
get
with
it?
that.
Yeah.
He's very attached to
Yeah.
the love.
No, for sure.
The romantics.
Or it could just be hard to let go, like even for you, like what you were saying earlier about your like physical space. Like if somebody came and like switched all your stuff or took your like shit, you'd be pissed. It's hard for you to let go of maybe physical material possessions or just your environment around you. Or maybe it's hard for you to let go when you're not ready to let go. Like if somebody plucked you out of a situation, like you're like, well, that's I wasn't ready for that. Like, and but it says even when it's a lost cause, which I think is really interesting because whether it be in love or something else, it's like sometimes we just can't let go. Even though we know it's kind of a dead end. Which I've felt like that. It doesn't need to be all the time. Like I felt like that many times in my life over and over again where I'm like, wow, I did it again. Like I put way too much time and energy into that thing that like I knew damn well was a lost cause. It's not even like I didn't know.
I mean, I feel like we've all been there.
Oh,
that
for
we
sure.
stayed, even with just like relationships too, like we've stayed longer than we needed to be. But I don't know, there's other things too that sometimes it's hard to let go.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, let's see. So this is like talking about how we find our stability. So it was like a theory of how each different fixed sign finds their stability in different ways.
Ooh,
so
tell me about it.
Leo,
How do I stabilize?
Find
it
love.
actually says it says that your career of self-expression and ongoing respect for people that you love and yourself. So like saying that you like are constantly, the way you stay stable is you're constantly like self-growth. Like, are you into that? Are you into
Yeah, I'm always about self-growth.
Self-expression, just kind of, you know, understanding why you are the way that you are and like,
I mean,
accepting.
I constantly think about like, what's my next move and how do I make myself a little bit better than I was yesterday?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And that's such a rare quality, genuinely. Like, that's such a good thing to have.
Crazy.
It's something a lot of people have to learn too. And I don't know if you had to learn it or if you always were like that.
I had to learn it, you know. Something
It's
crazy
part of
happened.
growing up.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. It's
Yeah.
part of growing up. And all of these things are, you know, they can be applied to every single person. It's just more of like how quickly you get there and how strongly you enact these things, you know? Like we can all be stubborn or we can all do this, but it's all about like how quickly you get there and how it transforms your life, I guess. But let's see. In whatever field and interests you have, Leo, you can see the best in all people, and you do not tend to have enemies. So that's a way of you staying stable too. And even actually what you were talking about before was kind of interesting because you were like talking about how you don't really have any enemies. And maybe
It's pretty true.
maybe that's a way of you like that's how you stay stable because you know that you're good with everybody. Like that's kind of your like way of like being like that's how I like exist on this planet and how I want to exist, and that's my core. Like I want to be, you know, like or that type of thing. So I thought that was really interesting. I was like, wow, I've never thought about like what could make you like stable or what's important, but
Crazy.
yeah. And then Taurus, you build with real elements to construct a solid life. You move deliberately and create things that last. That is your stability, apparently. So it says that's a lot different than his because it's saying you take real life. You're a practical guy. You want something, you're going to start a business. You're going to make it happen for yourself. You're going to do it and you're going
Right there.
I know,
Yeah,
right?
right there.
You're going to do something that's going to be you can build out. It's not just like pointless or like, oh, I'm going to spend all my money on gambling or some instant pleasure. You're doing something that's going to last and you're doing something that's important to you. And
I can agree with that.
You're taking real life things and creating a life that you want for yourself, and you can see it and you're like doing it. And that's how you stay stable, like knowledge and kind of just like, I feel like that's your stability too. A lot of like just knowledge and understanding and building yourself like a life almost, but physically more so. I feel like yours is more so self-growth, emotional, kind of just like trying to connect with yourself and others. And like yours, like you kind of are like, this is what I want. I don't care what other people think, and I'm going to create it.
That's true.
But
I feel like that's true.
and definitely deliberate decisions. Like I feel like you definitely like wouldn't just make a like impulse like I feel like even just like with your wall color, you're like, oh, I need to think about it. Like you're a deliberate person. So you're a deliberate person and you create things that last. Like photography, that's timeless. You know what I mean? Like your literal profession in art is timeless and something that's gonna last. So I mean, I could totally see some truth in that statement. Let's see. Mine says that I have permanence that's found through achievement of various types and diving into the mysteries of people's mind, which, yep, that's pretty much how I stay stable. Like, I love doing stuff like this. And I also achievements. Like, for sure, I'm like one of those people where it's...
Man, it's crazy when we first met, she did this. She just asked, like, how many questions were there? Like
the cube test.
The cube test.
5 questions.
It was so interesting, dude. Like you have to do it with her at some point.
Yeah. The cube test.
Have you ever done it?
I've never done this cube
test. I don't know if it's made up or where. I mean, I learned it in high school from this like my friends. So I don't know. And I've seen different versions. Like I've seen a desert version, and like basically it's just a mind game where it's like a thought experiment, I guess, where you literally like I tell you to picture stuff, and the first thing that comes to your mind, I interpret your results and like try to like.
Can we do that next time?
Yeah, we should do that next time.
Hell yeah.
The cube test.
The cube test.
Yeah, we're running a little bit long, so yeah. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We're gonna ask this last 2 questions before we end this podcast.
Yeah, I'm so sure. I feel like we can go on forever about this. I love the astrology stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and it sucks.
I know we're gonna be talking about this like after.
It sucks because there's only 3 signs that we talked about. So for people that
we actually only talked about 2.
Oh yeah,
yeah. She didn't get to it all the way. Yeah,
it's okay actually.
But
we'll get to it next time.
Well, hopefully
we'll go find a Aquarius.
Hopefully the Leos and the Taurus enjoyed that.
Yeah,
but for everybody else,
or if you didn't enjoy us, like tell us why and like more of your traits that you think you have. I want to know. Like I'm so interested in learning. And
that's true. Like whatever your sign is, comment down below.
Tell us what sign you want to talk about next time too.
Heck yeah!
True.
And
if we get feedback, I can come back.
Or
we can talk
if you're
about
not
it.
Water sign, come through.
Or might be an interesting.
no air.
Oh no, air sign. Air sign.
Or it might be interesting too if it's just like, what if we do a YouTube video of every single sign?
That'd be cool.
That'd be interesting.
Cool. That'd be interesting.
That would be really cool.
Yeah, let me ask you these last 2 questions before we.
Oh boy!
This is the first time we're doing this.
Let's do it.
Can't remember what it was.
I've never done this. I'm in for a treat too.
Yay!
All right. All right. So the first question is, what's something that you've learned? Something new that you've learned recently?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think I've recently learned like how dynamic a life and like my life could be, and just like in the sense that it's like I don't have to be one thing all the time, or I don't have to like do a certain job that defines my career, or like I'm just like learning so much about myself right now that I feel like I'm like, you know, like I love to hike, but I also love to plan events, and like that's crazy. And like I'm a wildlife major. I was working in a lab last year, and now I'm not, and I never want to again. So it's like I just really feel like I've been learning about how many different layers and like just learning about myself, kind of just some self reflection, what I want, who I am, what makes me happy, when it makes me happy, how it changes all the time.
Ooh.
Yeah,
it's important.
Yeah. I mean, the next time she comes back, we gotta get to know her a little bit, because she barely.
That's kind of my.
I mean,
thing.
she talked a lot today, but like it was
trait.
more of for us.
She was talking about who we are.
Yeah, and not
don't
necessarily
exploit my
who she
weaknesses
is.
though. But you know,
Yeah.
I know.
How about
You guys
Christian?
don't know my weaknesses.
Huh?
How about you? What's something new that you learned since this is the first time we actually done this?
Nice.
Something new that I've learned. Damn, you gonna pop this question on me like
Hey, that happened to me.
Hey.
I'm like, it's
She was
scary.
ready for it.
I wasn't.
She wasn't, but she had an answer. Maybe that's
True.
something.
You just pull it out of your ass. That's my trick.
Yeah,
It's true, but
I guess
used to
it
be my
doesn't
trick.
necessarily have to be super recent, but
something new that I learned.
something that you learned.
Just in general, does it have to be like life lessons or?
I guess it could
Because
just.
I learned that almonds could be milked.
yes, that's
That's
a great
true.
thing to learn. Nut bags exist.
That's
And
true.
nut bags. Like what?
maybe
a nut bag.
maybe something a little bit more valuable.
Hey,
But I mean
it's
that's pretty valuable.
it's valuable.
There's someone out there who needs to know that. Like me, I was very curious. It just,
Yeah.
just happened. Yeah. But something that I learned, I guess, in terms of like, providing some good advice to those listening. Actually, like we tend to forget it, but don't. I think it's a nice reminder to never forget about the little things. Like we tend to forget it. Like we always go to our dailies, and we go doing like our like we go. I have a 9 to 5, but like there's certain things in between. It's just like, oh man, like this little thing could make me this happy, like crazy.
Yeah.
I think just don't forget about those little things, and it doesn't matter. Just think about it in terms of life and love. The little things matter.
For sure.
Cool. Well, the last question is, what are you grateful for?
Oh, the first thing that comes to my mind is my husband, Tom. Like my family, my support system. That's everything. Like that. I wouldn't. You could take everything else away, and like if I had that, I'd be okay.
Yeah.
Whereas like with everything else, it's like, oh, if you took one thing away, it's like I don't care if I have money or my favorite job or anything if I don't have that person or that love that in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a total hopeless romantic too, and I love love. So definitely Tom, and for supporting me and like just for freedom right now. I'm so grateful for like the place I'm at in my life. Like I have so much freedom. I have so much time to just like figure out who
yourself
I
out.
am and what I want, and it's just I've never had a time like this my whole life. So it's really fun. I'm grateful for that, and I'm grateful I'm in the place in my life I can do that, and yeah.
Cool. You want to talk about what you're grateful for, Christian?
I mean, everything she said except
It's not.
I don't know Tom, but maybe Tom.
Your significant other.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. My significant other. That's like my main. You know what I'm saying? But I'm also grateful for those who think about me and those who, because I haven't really been, present in all the things that I've been doing lately. But it's nice to know that people are still thinking about you. I'm grateful
Yes.
for those people who can do their own individual thing and then end up saying, oh, I haven't spoken to this person in a while. Like I'm grateful for those people.
And then you come back and it's like you never left, and it's
Yeah.
like boom, and there's I love that too.
Yeah.
It's the best.
I feel like they just the great friendships are based on like not the amount of time you spend with them, but the amount of time that
the quality.
the quality of the time that you spend with them. So it's like, oh, I haven't spent time with you in a while, but knowing that we are spending this kind of time, and you've taken the time to.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
You could sit next to somebody every day and like not have quality time, but then you get one good day with your best friend and you're good for a year. It's
True,
definitely
true.
all about that quality.
Yeah. Because I mean, like Andrew doesn't come up like often, but when he does, you're just like, oh, it's good enough.
And it
It's
almost
nice.
makes the time like so precious too. Like that's how my best friend and I like don't get to see each other often, so it's every 3 months we do a big trip in like 4 days, but it's amazing. That time is like epic.
Yeah.
We really appreciate each other that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Life short, man.
Life short.
R.I.P. Kobe
Milk
Bryant.
some almonds.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Oh.
Kobe.
Yeah, that was kind of sad.
Why?
I think it just makes you think too that it could happen anytime.
At any time.
What really made an impact on me about his death is like, how everybody, I mean, I obviously a lot of people were sad about it, but if you think about how many people he impacted,
Yeah.
even just like, he was entertaining. Obviously, he was one of the best basketball players that ever played. But I think outside of that too, I think when he retired, he was basically like coaching all these, a bunch of kids.
Doing prosperous things for
Yeah,
others.
like basketball and stuff. And like he made an impact. I saw a picture of the kids that he was supposed to go coach
the Black
that day.
Mambas or whatever they're called.
I don't know what they're called, but I saw a picture. But there was a bunch of like teenagers like waiting for him to show up, and his daughter too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it made me think that like if I die tomorrow, what's the impact on my
Of
on
your
my
death,
yeah
on
am
the
I
people around you.
yeah am I making
Mm-hmm.
somebody's life better or somehow? That's why I wrote it up there.
Totally.
Make an impact.
No, it's so important, and
It's
it's
important.
It is.
Yeah. And even if like you leave a small piece of like importance in that person's life,
Yeah.
even if in the people that you that aren't fully impacted by your life, like there's people out there who need food. Earlier today, there was a guy at the gas station. I wasn't quite sure if he was asking me for food specifically, but like, knowing the fact that you can change this person's life,
Yeah.
like that's an impact in itself, and it doesn't need to be known. It just knows that you've gone out of your way to go and do something that human beings should be doing in general.
For sure.
Yeah, because I get comments sometimes too about, oh yeah, like this episode like really helped me, like it inspired me to do something, and those comments are so much more important to me than like all the money that I could possibly get.
For
like
sure, to
just
know
changing
you're
somebody.
making.
Yeah,
And sometimes you don't even know what somebody needs to hear, and it's like a straight, and maybe not even what you thought
Yeah.
inspired them, and they're like, I heard this, and I'm so inspired right
yeah.
now. And you're
Even
like,
with this
that's
episode,
amazing.
this episode is very like niche and very specific to.
Yeah, but someone out there's gonna be like,
Yeah.
oh, snap.
You know that one Taurian man out there
yeah,
is like,
exactly.
oh shit, that's
Yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know what you'll.
Or I need to stop being so stubborn.
Yeah, that's how that's how I look at all these episodes. It's like, even though sometimes it seems like it's not. This is entertaining. I don't think it's necessarily like motivating or, I guess, a learning episode. But I don't know. You never know.
You never know.
You never know.
This could be the episode that
Makes an impact.
catch somebody's attention, and that's
Yeah, or maybe it'll like make you laugh. Like that's the best when I'm
That's
listening
true.
to a random podcast and it's like I haven't listened the entire time, but then I tune in for like that one sentence and I start busting up and I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh,
Oh, yeah,
that was
yeah.
the best thing that's ever happened. I don't even know what he's talking about, but that was hella funny.
Yeah.
Like, who knows? It's all about that connection and the impact you possibly can make.
could just be funny.
Could just be funny.
You know, you
Never
can't
know.
have it all.
Yeah.
But make
Exactly.
a difference. Make a
But
difference.
yeah, I think that's it for this episode. We'll have Mahela again.
Yeah, Mahela, next time we're gonna talk
Second.
about this
Well-
cube thing.
Cubes.
This cube thing.
Maybe we'll have our win.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need some wind in here.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about
All this
her instead of just
We'll see.
us.
We'll
Yeah,
see.
yeah. We're supposed to be interviewing you. What
I know.
the heck?
It's
That
supposed to be.
It's that Scorpio mind game.
This-
It is.
It's supposed to be you, but now it's about us.
I mean, you
but,
got me
know.
at like all those comments that you got.
Hey, you
Dang
guys
it.
want to know more about your co-host? I bet it's
That's-
probably
that's
interesting.
true. That
is
Instead of
true.
you guys talking about yourselves, it's kind of like putting you on the
I mean-
spot and like asking you hard questions.
Yeah,
Like
we
I
got
totally
me.
I called you guys out. Like I'm sorry if I, but it's like it's good. It's fun. Those
That's
are the
true.
good conversations.
Yeah.
We've barely
Those are
talked
the best
about ourselves.
Yeah.
We've only talked about ourselves maybe like
Every now and then.
a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I guess it's good to know
Good to know.
who they're dealing with.
Exactly.
And if
Yeah.
you want to know more, leave a comment down below.
Yes.
Or rate us.
And
No, I want to be rated.
Yeah.
You guys rate this one specifically, so I know it's for me. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah. So if you're watching it on YouTube, rate 1 to 10. What do you
Yep,
think?
1 to 10.
10 out of 10 would watch again. Come on, let's go.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm curious. If
I
who's
want
gonna comment.
physical and then emotional. What you think of my personality? No, I'm just kidding. But
Man, the internet can be mean, but
yeah, no,
It's an interesting
it's
place.
good to hear.
yeah, we'll see. But anyways, that's it.
All right, then, fellas and ladies out there, thank you for tuning in. Once again, we appreciate you.
Tune in next week.
Yeah.
Ciao.